Hey guys, it's Brenda Turner from leansecrets.com, and today we're going to talk about birth control. This is a video I was debating on making, and I hate when people start a video off by saying that, but I was debating it because it's a little bit controversial maybe. I was talking to my mom, she's like, oh, don't do that video. Well, I'm going to do the video because I'm kind of opinionated about this, and it's kind of long overdue. And I get emails from women in their 20s, 30s, telling me about different symptoms that sound birth control related, and so this is just to help some of you. This video may not apply to you, and that's perfectly fine. There's tons of women who benefit from birth control, and this isn't a across-the-board statement. This might not apply to you. So if you're taking birth control and you're happy with it, and it's not giving you any grief or side effects, then just forget the whole video. And also, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a gynecologist, so salt, 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 sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. This is my personal opinion, and so with that being said, let's start with a different perspective on birth control and think of it outside of the box. Because right now we're in a box, millions of women, we're in a box and we're taking birth control, and we're just taking birth control to prevent pregnancy, which is great. But if we think about it from a different standpoint, fertility is a sign of health, is it not? It is, right? So if we take fertility and we add in an exogenous hormonal treatment, which is what birth control is. It's a hormonal treatment that you take every single day, whether it's through the NuvaRing, through birth control pills, a daily pill, a patch, what have you. You're interfering with fertility, and that is a part of the hormonal system in your body. So essentially, you're disrupting the hormonal system in your body, the cycles of hormones, the monthly cycles of hormones that have to occur to create a fertile environment. So if we shave this down just a little bit further to the core of this situation, birth control is the only prescription drug intended to treat a sign of health. It's the only one intended to treat a sign of health. So from the get-go, I already feel like this is counterintuitive in terms of working with your body, working with the stream, working with the flow, if you will. Excuse my hippie vernacular. A lot of women take birth control and they don't really realize what is in it, and they're not really thinking about what's going on inside their body. I don't mean to sound ominous. It could just very well be that you're taking birth control and everything's going fine. But sometimes you're taking these extreme levels of progesterone and estrogen, and it's 4 times the amount of the estrogen and progesterone that is produced by a healthy female body. And that really smashes your hormonal system and can cause some side effects. Which leads me to my next point about side effects. When women go into the doctor and say that they are feeling side effects from their birth control, typically the response is that you're made to feel like a complete nut, and they just kind of shoo you away and say, no, 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 you're not gaining weight from your birth control, you're not having trouble losing weight from your birth control, can't happen. And that's just weight. Weight isn't the only side effect, but weight gain, water retention, trouble losing weight, fatigue, nausea, all of these different things, insomnia, depression, all these can very well happen from birth control. And the doctors get their studies from the manufacturing companies who create birth control. There's plenty of studies that weren't funded by the manufacturing companies that are third party, but there is plenty of studies that have been kind of swept under the rug, such as the Wyeth study that happened in 1999. Wyeth found plenty of unfavorable things about birth control, but it was kind of swept under the rug. And that happens quite often. That happens all the time. The very first study, in fact, of birth control was conducted on a group of Puerto Rican women in which some of them actually experienced some major side effects, and there was actually a few deaths, not necessarily from birth control, but they didn't even investigate. And that study is called the Puerto Rican Trials. You can look that up. That actually did happen. Quite scandalous. Very crazy. But I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist. This isn't doom and gloom. It's just to let you guys know there's other options. And another important thing is that women are pressured into birth control. From the time that they're 16 and they say, hey doc, I've got a few pimples here and here and here, they're prescribed, hey, you know what, you need to take birth control. You're not on birth control? Why aren't you on birth control? You need to be taking birth control. Birth control, birth control. You have a period? Let's give you some birth control so you don't have a period. What? That is crazy. Another thing I want to just get out there, while I'm making this video, I'm just going to air it all out. Men are the ones who created birth control, and it's no coincidence that, of course, that they created it for women. I just really wish that they would get on creating something for them, for men. And I'm willing to bet, I think there is actually probably a male birth control. I'm not sure, but my guess is there's a group of doctors hiding the male birth control because they don't want to be taking this stuff every single day. They want the women to be taking it every single day. If you're experiencing weird side effects from your birth control and you feel like it's from your birth control, always listen to your intuition. Your birth control is an exogenous hormone disrupting your hormonal system. That is what it's intended to do. I'm not lying about that. It's disrupting your hormonal system, and it's creating an infertile environment. So I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, well, if you're not a fan of birth control, what do you suggest? I suggest, just my own personal opinion, I suggest non-hormonal forms of birth control. One birth control method that is non-hormonal is a diaphragm. That is kind of old school, but it still works. It's very effective. The second one is condoms. The third one is an IUD. There's a copper IUD that is non-hormonal. There's also a hormonal IUD. Always, in my opinion, non-hormonal is the best way to go. And the IUDs, make sure if you're thinking about getting one of those, you do plenty of research because those can be just a little bit more invasive, a little bit more risky. There's risks with everything, so make sure that you do your research on that. Another option would be fertility awareness. The last one is a sponge. Do you guys remember the Seinfeld episode about the sponges? If not, you should definitely go check that out. It's really, really funny. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about when I say fertility awareness is when you are basically aware of your body when you're ovulating, because if you pay close enough attention, you'll know exactly when you ovulate, when you're fertile, and also it involves the monitoring of mucus and also the positioning of your cervix, as well as some other things like your body temperature and what have you. That's just a little tidbit, just throwing all this out there for you guys. This may or may not help some of you. If you want more information on some natural birth control methods, I have really good books that I would love to recommend to you. The first one that you would probably get a whole lot from is Taking Charge of Your Fertility by Tony Weschler. The second one that's very good is Natural Birth Control Made Simple by Barb Cass and Dr. Hal C. Danzer. Another one that's really good is A Cooperative Method of Natural Birth Control by Margaret Knopfsinger. I love all those books, and it's really important as a woman to just learn about your cycle anyway and to understand that there are cycles throughout the month. That's going to just about do it for today. I'm going to cut it off right there, and hopefully this helps some of you guys. Hopefully you guys aren't outraged at this kind of video, and I hope that you have a wonderful, beautiful day, and I'll see you guys on Friday with a new video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye!